Welcome back. So if you were watching the previous segment, we were talking about this Google Translate app, which not only on the phone, you can have it on your computer as well. Just go to translate.google.com. You can translate from mostly any language to any language. It won't be perfect, but in most cases it will do, right? So let's say you're traveling somewhere, your car is giving you a error message in Japanese. Nowadays it's all electronic and it's really difficult.
All the popular languages calling it should be very accurate, right?
Yeah.
German, English, Spanish,
Japanese. Sinhala is the only one that recently came out, but
Yeah.
even Sinhala is there. And nowadays a lot of people want to type in Sinhala, type in Tamil. So the difficulty they are facing is how to type this. For example, if you are typing in Sinhala, it's Vijay, which used to be the standard keyboard layout, and it's not easy. Even I can't do it. I think you so the easiest thing to do is, I mean, even though computers nowadays got evolved, Sinhala comes as a standard, Tamil comes as a standard, but the keyboards are still cumbersome, right? So it's difficult to install, it doesn't come out of the box. And even if you buy a phone, like a lot of phone doesn't have Sinhala, unless especially Samsung phone, if it comes to this region, for example, if it's meant to be sold in Sri Lanka, it comes with Sinhala built in, but not to type. So easiest thing you can do is right now is, if you want, put your Facebook status in Sinhala or Tamil, and if you're not fluent in typing in the standard keyboard layouts, so Google has another tool called Google IME. So if you go to Google, what you can actually do is, it's quite simple actually. So you go to Google, you find out what Google IME is. So you can install this onto your computer if you wish. If you are a Chrome user like I am, you can simply install this as an add-on, like an extension,
Right.
and you can select the language you want to type. And it's quite simple to type as well. So if you don't want to install anything, you just want to type something and translate it to Sinhala, you can do that as well. Just go to google.com/input tools, and you can just select the language you want to type it in. For example, I'll select right now Sinhala, and after that it's like how you pronounce it. Say let's say I want to say Kalinga, just say Kalinga as normally you would type it, right? Badaginida or something phonetically. So you can just have, like you say it, you can type it. So mostly it will suggest you as well. For example, if you are not that fluent in typing, it will suggest you saying, is this what you mean? So that's easy as well. I think this is remarkably made it easier for people to type it in Sinhala, type it in Tamil, and this would even work even if you have like Microsoft Word, other application that's running recent versions. You can just type it here, copy and paste it to Word, and it will work. The best thing is, if you share this with anyone, even with a phone, even with a computer, if they have something like, if it's Windows, anything above Windows Vista, so say 7, 8, 10 and Mac OS recent versions, they would automatically see it. They don't need to install phones, nothing like that. So even if you see it on a phone, if it's a Samsung phone or a iPhone, all the new iOS devices including Macs comes with Sinhala built in, so you'll see it, and not only Sinhala, Tamil as well. So this is much.
This is in Unicode, is it?
So basically this is called Unicode, and it's a world standard. So it's standardized, and it's really easy to use. I think if you really was wondering how you can do this is the simplest and the easiest way of doing it. But keep in mind, your computer does come with this support. So if you are little techie, if you have Windows computer, if you go to your control panel, input tools, and your regional language settings, you can actually install this. So it will come as a default.
On Linux, I think it will be easier if you install IBus.
Yeah.
And then select a phonetic keyboard for it.
Yes. So it's all depend on what kind of computer you're using. So if it's Mac, it's already there on the input tools, you can select it. So this is something fairly easy, simple you can do. From that, we'll switch to something that a lot of people asked us. Few of the viewers actually asked us, how can I get Wi-Fi? So a lot of people under the impression, Tilina, that Wi-Fi is something you need to buy it from a provider, right? Your internet provider need to give you Wi-Fi. That's not the case. So basically you might have an ADSL line, you might have a 4G connection, you might have a fiber connection, even a 3G connection which you have a dongle. So all these can be converted into Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi basically means your internet connection is shared wirelessly. So this has been there since 1999. 2000 is where Wi-Fi came in, and by 2001 or 2 this got fairly famous because you don't have to run wires. I mean, that's what we want. And the biggest difficulty everyone faces right now is, my Wi-Fi signal is not great. That's the question that everyone says. Hey, when I go to my room it's fine, but when I go to my living room it doesn't work. When I go to my upstairs it doesn't work. So Wi-Fi doesn't like walls basically.
Yeah.
So one thing we need to keep in mind is all the Wi-Fi devices we buy, routers especially the routers. So for example, if you get a 4G connection, it comes Wi-Fi built in. But those routers are really cheap and not capable of delivering the exact speeds you might be looking for. So sometimes your internet connection might be faster than your Wi-Fi network.
Right.
Happens to me. At my home, I got 100 Mbps fiber connection, but my Wi-Fi connection is limiting me to around 20 to 30 megabits a second because I live in an environment where everyone has Wi-Fi, and I see about 30 to 40 Wi-Fi access point where I am. So Wi-Fi is again prone to this noise, channel availability, congestion. So it's like a radio broadcasting station. You have a lot of channels. So Wi-Fi similarly has channels from 1 to 13, and that 1 to 13 need to be shared among all these users. So when you have a lot of people around your area, it's wise to see what channels are free. There are apps like Wi-Fi Analyzer where you can install it on your phone and scan the channel ranges and see what free Wi-Fi channels are there. It might not be free at a point, but it might be less congested. So you can set your router to use that channel. So if you go to your router settings and if you go to wireless settings, on that it will say what channel to use. Most of the time it says automatic. If the router is smart enough, it will automatically select that free channel. Again, Wi-Fi now comes in 2 different frequency ranges. Back in the day we only had 2.4 gigahertz for Wi-Fi, and now 5 gigahertz is there as well. And there are variation of Wi-Fi standards as well. 802.11, 80. Now the standard is now N. So after this break, we'll talk about how to set up your Wi-Fi network and how to make it go through walls. See you after the break.